I've been joined by Elvis Darko, who's the editor of The Finder. Good morning, Elvis.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
How was your weekend?
Not bad.
Good.
Not bad.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
I've also been joined by Umaru Sanda Amadu, who is the host of Eyewitness News. Good morning.
Good morning. Can we speak in ever?
We're not doing any of that. Thank you for being early today.
Okay, I tried.
Right, you want to be accused of organizing an airway caucus on the show?
Exactly. Exactly. You see what he's doing.
Papa V. Good morning to Papa V.
F1.
No phone.
All right, we'll take a look at our first story. I'm reading from citinewsroom.com. There's reasonable suspicion of corruption, bribery in Airbus scandal. That's coming from the special prosecutor, Martin Amidu. The Office of the Special Prosecutor has noted that there is reasonable suspicion of corruption in Airbus scandal. So I'm going to quote what Mr. Amidu said. The Special Prosecutor has determined that the said referral and deferred prosecution of agreements and judgments accompanying them raise reasonable suspicion of the commission of corruption and corruption-related offenses of bribery of public officers and the use of public office by public officers for private office, which are offenses falling within the mandate of this office under the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Section 5 or Act 595. A parliamentary investigation was accordingly opened on the 4th of February 2020 by this office into the allegations contained in the judgments referred to this office aforesaid. So this is all a response to the president referring the matter of some government official, one dealing with some mediator in this whole Airbus saga, and the special prosecutor responding that indeed there is reasonable suspicion of corruption and bribery in this Airbus scandal. Sanda, what does this mean now that we've heard from the special prosecutor on this Airbus matter? Because the president did say that the special prosecutor should take it on.
So it's exciting to see that.
First, good morning to our viewers.
Okay, bonjour to our viewers. Good morning. I wanted to wave at them, but I'm not sure that that's appropriate
It's
for
okay.
TV, so I'll leave it like that. Good morning. It's exciting to know that there's going to be an investigation. There's actually a concern whether the investigation should be done by Parliament or it should be done by special prosecutor. But for me, the fact that the foremost citizen of the land, the president, has referred this issue to the special prosecutor is good news. I mean, the special prosecutor is no mean person. Martin Amidu has been Deputy Attorney General for 12 years. He has been Minister for the Interior for 1 year. He has been Attorney General for 1 year. He knows the law so well. He was part of the people who crafted that law. He knows this law about public people benefiting for private gain and so on. And reading his press release, he says that he's properly clothed with the appropriate powers to investigate this matter. And for me, that's good. But the only difficulty, and I raised it the last time I was here, is that the Office of Special Prosecutor has always been complaining about several issues that they've had, challenges they've had. I said that the Public Procurement Authority boss is still currently before the special prosecutor being investigated on a similar corruption-related issue. We have not seen what has come out of that yet. We have not been given an update. We don't even think they have gone to court yet. Anas Aremia Anas's case against Charles Bissio is before the special prosecutor. What is happening to that? Now, for the president to be forwarding cases to the special prosecutor, which is the right thing to do, is good enough. But are you not piling the office with too much work when they have too less to do, or they have too less capacity, or they do not have enough staff to do what you expect them to do? For me, that is a challenge. It's okay referring to them, but the whole office has 3 prosecutors and like 2 investigators. Or is it 2 investigators and 3 prosecutors? How are you going to actually have these people work? Imagine if each of them is even handling 3 cases. The number of cases that have been brought before that office, from the time the office was set up, almost everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry comes there and brings all manner of cases, and they have to investigate first of all and say, okay, preliminary investigation suggests that we have the capacity to investigate or not, as in we have locals or not. So this letter was sent to him on Sunday, 2nd February. Actually, it was written on 2nd February, but sent last Monday. It's exactly 8 days. They are now replying to us that they have locals. So if you took them 8 days to tell us that they have locals to investigate, then you can imagine how long it will take them to invite other people.
So can they just say, we don't have the resources to do this, so we are not going to touch this case
But
until we are well-resourced?
they've already said that severally. I mean, they've said it in various forms. The special prosecutors, if you read a lot of the epistles he has sent, we've seen a lot of the challenges. But you see, by law, they are mandated to investigate.
So they can't say we won't.
No, they can't say they will not. But it's just that how soon would they finish? That's going to be the problem. So you refer a case to them. How many CID investigators are the CID, for instance? Look, the CID has the police doing the investigation for them at the bottom. They have special investigators, and then they'll take these cases to the Attorney General. Upon all of these, how many cases have been successfully prosecuted? How many cases have even had, how many cases have been called in court over the years, considering the fact that they have all these people who are there to support? But here's an office that has 3 investigators, 2 prosecutors, and one of the prosecutors is not even in Accra. He has to come from, another region to come and assist and so on. There's been a challenge that the special prosecutor had with one of his investigators, a police detective, and had to send her back to the CID boss and so on. So, for me, the Office of Special Prosecutor is a huge development, and we are excited by it, but I do not think that they actually would be investigating anything now. That is the truth for me, based on my knowledge of this office. Because why? I'm using precedent to make my case. If all the cases that have been brought before them have not been successfully prosecuted, we've not even seen any of them in court. At least there are a few cases in court, but the speed with which we expect them to be in court, we are not seeing it. And that is the reason that it's taking them 8 days to just issue a statement to say to us that, okay, we have locals, and that will investigate. And if you look at the concluding sentence in that letter, it says that people should not politicize the case. And I'm surprised that 8 days.
I mean, it says that the Office of the Special Prosecutor appeals to the public not to speculate or politicize the disclosures made in the deferred prosecution agreements and judgments, so on and so forth.
I'm afraid to say that the special prosecutor is closing, the doors or shutting the doors after the birds flew out, and they could be guinea fowls or excavators. But we've already politicized. This is actually a political issue.
But it's still under investigation.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. The New Patriotic Party, as an organization, called a press conference and said the government official one was. Is John Dramani Mahama. The NDC, as a corporate body, has called a press conference and dismissed that claim. And it has become a political warfare. There's been a call for an independent probe in Parliament, but we all know how independent probes in Parliament end. They become a one-sided probe. So
it's too late to be saying
that let's not politicize. What we want to see is action. So he's saying that he's partnering with local people and foreign people. And I'm saying that if even in Accra here, even in Ghana here, the special prosecutor is saying to us that he has challenges with some heads of institutions who are stampeding him, and this was public knowledge that he's saying that he's being stampeded by some officials of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government. How much more expecting to get, collaboration on a big issue like this? Getting collaboration from outside, help. Mind you, the US and the UK have no interest in sharing this information with us because these people essentially cut a deal. That's the reason that we have what we have, the deferred prosecution agreement. It's because, so we will not go to court with you because we don't want long talk. So how much you pay. You agree, they said they agree, okay, fine. And they decided not to. Why? You think that they cannot put the names in there. If they want to, they can put the names in there, but they did not. And what is the guarantee that they are going to give us these names?
Okay. Thank you.
How much are we going to pay them to give us the names that they have concealed? Because they are being paid so much to perhaps conceal a lot of these things. How much are we going to pay them? Do we even have the capacity to? And we have conventions and so on, that's treaties that means we can share information, but how much really can we do? So for me, it's not Uhuru. The fact that it has gone to Office of Special Prosecutor is nothing at all. We should not even be jubilating, okay, it's going to Special Prosecutor soon, tomorrow we'll see someone in court. And mind you, this Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu has said to us that if he fails to start any prosecutions by the end of 2019, anything he does in 2020 would be deemed a political witch hunt. He himself said this, and he said that if the government wants him to work, they should help him quickly so he can start work.
Thank you very much.
It's 2020. We are in the second month of the year. You are going to go to court. we are going to take the John Mahama. If the case comes out that John Mahama is the individual one or government official one, are you going to take John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer of the largest opposition party, to court in an election year? In Ghana, 1992 democracy, I mean...
It will create a perception that he's doing the government
chaos. And already we have this standoff with EC. I don't think we are going to succeed in any way. And you can mark my words.
Okay.
Nothing is going to happen, at least not this year.
Thank you very much, Sanda. Elvis, your opinion on this matter?
Oh, no, for me, I think Mati Amadu just re-echoed the positions of both the UK, France, and America on the matter.
Okay.
The whole issue was investigated because of suspicion of bribery and corruption. And for them, they are clear in their minds that Airbus officials actually paid bribes and it amounts to corruption according to their laws. And that is why they kept pestering Airbus, asking for more investigation until Airbus agreed and said, we agree that our people have actually done what you are saying, and therefore let's go for a settlement. And the settlement has been agreed, and we all know the amount involved. So obviously, he telling us that suspicion of corruption is nothing new, because that actually is what triggered the investigations into the whole matter by these 3 jurisdictions. And for me, I think Mati Amadu should be telling us how he sees the possibility of being able to come up with something concrete. Because, you see, when companies go into settlements, there are a lot of things that they agree with the security agencies, for which reason they agree to pay those monies. So there are details they can actually ask the security agency not to release because they are doing settlement. And these are legal issues and confidential matters that needs to be protected. But because it's a matter of crime, Ghana as a country may have several agreements with different countries at several levels. I think he should be looking at which of the agreements and corporations between Ghana and the US or Ghana and UK or France that we can take advantage of and be able to have access to some of this information so that it can help his work. And whilst he's doing that, I think he should also be looking into Ghana and look at certain pointers that can help him. Because, for instance, something that is so critical, I think he should look into, is the revelation that the said Ghanaian company that was finally rejected by Airbus was registered in Ghana in December 7, 2009. December 7, 2009 is when that company was registered in Ghana. So if he can get the Registrar General's Department to provide a list of all companies registered on December 7, 2009 and their directors, then probably one of the companies may give us an indication of who is closer or a brother to an elected official at the time. Then it could give him some link to who we are talking about. The Ministry of Defense, which did actually the procurement, if we have to say it, we have to find out that intermediary company, because we were told that Airbus official worked with them for 2 years to draft the contract, which was later rejected, for which they have to bring on board a Spanish company. If there is any trace of that agreement anywhere, we should be able to, he should be able to look into some of these things. If he did not prefer the Attorney General's advice on the procurement, can he look for that advice that was offered by the Attorney General at the time? So I think that there are certain pointers he can be looking at this moment to see if we can actually establish who really that brother of the government official is. The very moment we are certain that this person is the brother of the elected official, then getting the elected official is not.
But do you think the Office of the Special Prosecutor itself is well resourced to do all the things you're saying?
Well, for me, if it's not well resourced, you should have said it's not well resourced. But
he's been saying it.
He said he has accepted to do the job. So if he accepted to do the job, then you have to do it well. Okay. You have to do it well. Okay. Is there a way Bank of Ghana can even assist?
But judging by all other investigations he's done, are you confident that we'll be able to see some results?
Well, if I'm judging by his performance, I will not be confident. Because in 1 year, when he himself gives us an update of what he has done, in the entire 1 year, he went to court with one case. In his first year in office, one. That is what he himself told us, that he went to court with only one case. since he took office in the entire 1 year. So if in the entire 1 year he went to office with only one case, and we know there are several cases that have been reported to his office, I will not have much confidence. Maybe unless he's going to say, I'm prioritizing this particular case over all others, and therefore the little resources available to me, I'll be able to do it. Because if you look at the budget that was given him, at least he was given some over almost 30 million last year. He spent
those are projections.
No, 180 million, but the one that was actually transferred to him was about 30.
Okay.
But he spent it's about 5 million, and he spent only 1 million out of it. And the rest of the money was sitting in his account. It may be various reasons, as probably because he doesn't have the staff that will be going out doing the work to be spending the money. So,
but what does it mean for the president to pass this case to him, knowing all his constraints?
Well, for me, I think because the issue is about government official, the president might be thinking that if I refer to AG, who is the chief advisor to government, people may say it's a political witch hunt. So if we say special prosecutor's office is an independent office devoid of politics, then I will better refer to special prosecutor to avoid that accusation of trying to use the AG, who is a chief government advisor, to track down somebody who is considered as an opposition. Office? No, as for the special prosecutor, the only thing that needed is about resourcing. And you see, that's why this country, I always say that if we don't have a plan and we are not doing a master plan strategy, we are always going to create things and have problems.
How?
I remember very well that when they were going to create this special prosecutor office, one issue that Iyoko raised and people attacked them was that, look, CID does investigation, Iyoko does investigation, police does investigation. There are so many investigative bodies. They are not there to do their work because of resources. So if you are going to establish special prosecutor's office, don't add investigations to their work. Let us resource us to do the investigation, and let the special prosecutor only do the prosecutions. But then they were attacked all that what have you been doing? You are becoming with now that we want to set up an office. You say you are doing a suggestion. Let's give them all the powers to investigate. So I'm not surprised that
they have 3 investigations.
Yes, I'm not surprised that the office is struggling. Because I think that the suggestion by Iyoko was perfect. That if Iyoko finish investigation, instead of waiting on Attorney General, let the special prosecutor take up the case. If police CID is completed with an investigation, let special prosecutor take up the case that will be assigned to it, so that their focus will be more on prosecution instead of investigation.
It seems like even as far as collaborating with the Office of Special Prosecutor, Martin Amadu has come out himself to say some of these agencies are frustrating his work. So how are they going to work with him to get the results?
That's what I'm saying. So if they had not given him that decision to investigate, and they have given only prosecutorial role, and the case has been assessed and said, this case, everything that we think we need to go to court today, so you take along and go and prosecute. I believe that the special prosecutors office would have been doing a better job. But we attacked Iyoko at that time as a country that why should they come up with that suggestion? And today, what they have said is actually what is happening. Whatever they suggested is what is happening. So you see, we need to look at some of these things. Look, the Airbus issue is a private company. But because there's a law that prevents companies from those countries or individuals from paying bribe outside the country, their state institutions actually went in to investigate. So you see, when you want to fight corruption and you don't focus your attention on the investigation, the prosecution, and the judiciary who will deliver the results, but you always will be attacking the president, your corruption fight is zero. Because the president is not the one going to do investigation. Neither is the president going to be the prosecutor. Neither is the president going to be that. If Trump is the one who will order investigation, I'm not sure Trump would have been under investigation.
Excellent. We do have to go for a quick break. On that note, this is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. Don't forget, the hashtag is Breakfast Daily and the WhatsApp line is 0550585832. If you're outside Ghana, the country code is +233. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. Before the break, we were discussing the special prosecutor responding to the president as far as investigating the Airbus saga, and he's saying that there are some issues of corruption in that matter, specifically saying that there's reasonable suspicion of corruption and bribery. So we hope that we'll get some results from his investigations. Now we're going to move on to the Airbus saga. The lawyer, Yaopong, is speaking on the matter, and he's saying Akufo-Addo should consider sacking officials over Galamsey scandal. So I'm reading from CitiNewsroom.com, and it says here, a legal practitioner, Yawapong, says President Umaru Sanda Amadu should consider sacking officials over overseeing the regulation of mining in the country following the recent scandal that has hit the sector. So we all know that the Environment Minister came out to accuse Akua Ametam of selling some excavators, and they have no idea about some numbers of excavators he's stolen. 6 people were arrested. They've been granted bail, and the lawyer is saying that, let me quote what he had to say here, the president should be seen to be cracking the whip. There's more incentive to engage in these illegal activities. So if the current status quo continues, people will continue to have an incentive to engage in these legal activities. So he says that he argued that if the relevant official does not have the conscience to resign, not because they have engaged in these activities, but have not been able to stop such activities, then the president should consider removing them. They have not been able to, or have failed to take out some of these persons and bring these matters to the appropriate state institutions for the necessary actions to be taken, he added. So, Sanda, let me come to you on this matter of Airbus missing excavators. You were out there last week counting some of the excavators. Yeah. Should we hold government officials accountable, or is it enough to just suspend Akua Ametam and some 5 others and call it a day?
No. First of all, the president should refer this excavator issue to the special prosecutor as well. Really?
But you just said the special prosecutor can't really...
No, but he has already done it. So if it's what is goose, or what is source for the goose is source for the gander, I'm not sure the expression. But if, despite the challenges of the office, he still deemed it fit to refer a huge issue like a flying Airbus to his office, then excavators are on land. There is easy crowd to refer them to him. And my point is that his government officials have been fingered.
How so?
So many of them have been mentioned. There are leaked tape audios, and we, by our own ethics, do not play these leaked audio, but I do not control the flow of these audios and the videos, and they are all over in circulation. And the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation has been mentioned.
But 6 people have been arrested.
It doesn't matter.
Isn't that enough?
No, it's not. It's not. That's what we call the low-hanging fruits.
Okay.
There are bigger people up there. I have seen a publication elsewhere where a member of parliament is claiming that he bought one for 200,000. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if he's actually coming from the office or not.
Okay.
But I'm saying that we give somebody a job in this country, and when the president was announcing, the chairman of the interministerial committee, he referred to Professor Frimpong Boateng as someone who is trusted and loved by Ghanaians, or appreciated by Ghanaians, and someone who we can trust with our resources and so on. And we give him the job to see to it that Galamsey ends and ensure that the state benefits. But it turns out it's a few individuals who are benefiting and not the state.
Okay.
We have essentially ended Galamsey in the name of ordinary people and giving it to extraordinary people. So big people are now doing Galamsey. How can you say excavators are missing? And I'm saying that as soon as he said to us that the excavators are missing, he should have also said, and therefore I have failed in doing my job, so I hereby tender in my resignation.
But he asked the CID to investigate who's supposed to ensure that these excavators were...
Who gave the job?
Okay.
Him. He gave Akua Ametam the job. And he is supposed to be tracking Akua Ametam. You see, we are 30 million people. We cannot all go and be tracking. We don't even know who Akua Ametam is. Until this issue came out, we didn't know who he was. But we gave someone the job, someone who was entrusted with the responsibility of overseeing that sector, ensuring the cleanup of that sector. Now, he is supposed to monitor these people. These are people who operate for him or work for him and work with him. And if these people are engaging in dubious things, like he's saying, the buck stops with him. Referring them to now he's even referring to journalists, to the CID. So even journalists were selling excavators under his watch, and I'm not prejudicing the investigation by the CID. But if we are saying that a former vice chairperson of the party in the central region is selling excavators, a journalist is selling excavators and collecting money. Kojo Ajiman of Citi Newsroom is part of the team that follows the ministers. Kojo has not sold an excavator. Why would you be sitting there as a minister and watching for things to fall off? And I'm saying that it means clearly that he lacks control of the sector that we give him. Okay. And if he lacks control, we don't want him to come and be whining. We want him to either act or just resign. And I think that there's so much that is weighing him down. And I actually support the call by Yaopon that if they will not resign, the president should be firing them. You see, the president said he was going to put his presidency on the line. Has he invited these people to question them? Has the president been giving a proper brief on this matter? You said that I went to count excavators. I found 88 excavators, 88 in Accra, and we said we have seized over 500 excavators. 88 out of 500 is like a spoonful of water from the sea. Where are the rest of the excavators? And they were sold for 200,000 and so on. That's what I've heard. So imagine if 10 excavators were sold. Yeah. That's 1 million cedis. And we are told that this is because someone needed campaign money and so on. I think there are a lot of questions. And it's been 2 weeks. The Minister for Environment, Science, Technology has still not spoken. Professor Kwabena Frimpong-Boateng has to come out and answer journalists. Okay. He said to us last week he was going to call a press conference when we attempted to talk to his office. It's been more than a week. We've entered the second week. He's still mute. Why is he mute? What is he hiding? He should subject himself to the probe of journalists. And if that fails, then he can go and subject himself to the probe of CID and so on. But I think that this silence is not proper. There's so many questions. How did they give this contract to Akowusi and other people? And what were the terms of reference? Now there's a new person who is running these excavators. And this person's job is supposed to move them to a centralized place at Adenta, which is what they are trying to do. But it's almost like we do not have proper control over these things. And I'm surprised that a campaign as huge as this one, I mean, why did Mahama die, Major Mahama? Is it not because of illegal mining? Yeah. And so he has died in vain. We have a roundabout in his name with a statue there, but that's it. I mean, I can't believe that we have a minister who is still sitting there while this is happening. So he should be answering questions. Okay. I mean, he's not the first minister who is coordinating this. And we've seen other ministers in the past who handled this area. And we didn't see so much trouble. Okay. What is happening with him? His son has been mentioned. I don't know whether it's true or false. Okay. But he should come and answer questions. Was his son involved in illegal mining or not? Okay. We see in that tape his head saying these things, that his son is engaged in illegal mining. We've heard Ekowusi in a tape saying that they go to Blue Gate, go and see from...
And all these are allegations.
Yeah, these are allegations. I'm saying that. So these are allegations.
If Ekowusi also feels as though the minister should be investigators, he cannot... might as well just go to the CID and ask for the minister to be investigated, no?
Investigation now.
So
he was in custody.
He can just throw out allegations and taint the image of the man, can he?
But these are audio recordings, and I'm not vouching for their credibility, but I'm just saying that the minister has a huge responsibility to come out and respond to these things. Okay. And is it true that his son is involved in the mining?
So it's not enough for him to just call for the investigations of these, and he should be held accountable.
He should come out and say something. And I'm saying that he should come out and tell us, is his son involved or not? Okay. He should tell us what work his son does. He should show to us proof that his son doesn't do what he said that is, and then we can move on with our life. Okay. We have told that, and again, this is the same tape, that they were using national security operatives to go and guard concessions. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, there was a publication in the Daily Graphic that when the Minister for Lands, Kwekwa Sumatreme, went to one of the sites, they were told that soldiers were guarding some of the illegal mines. And we know that soldiers have been guarding illegal mines. Okay. I mean, a national security operative.
So I'll come back to you on what all this means for the fight against Galamsey, especially the work that Citi has done and where we are now. But Elvis, what do you make of Yaopon asking the president to actually sack some officials for this Galamsey mess?
I perfectly agree with him. I think what has happened is a serious betrayal of trust of the president. And if you are president and people actually betray you to this level, then some people's health must roll.
But all these are allegations, right?
The president
you can't just sack someone based on an allegation.
Puts his presidency on the line. Something that he put his presidency on the line is a serious issue.
Yes.
And if we are in election year and the state of water bodies are worse off than the Galamsey at the time the Galamsey fight took off, then obviously the trust he has in those people that they can help him achieve that has been betrayed.
But and all these individuals are innocent until proven guilty.
The president does not need you to be proven. It's not his job to prove you guilty.
But shouldn't he at least give you the
It is his job to sack you because he appointed you. Okay?
Even when you are not guilty of the allegation.
You are not guilty of what? The scandals, what he's talking about, if it's not issue, how would the minister himself go to the police asking for investigation? And what kind of coordination, what kind of supervision was the minister doing for him to come and tell us that excavators have vanished? You are the head of the ministerial committee. You're the one leading the entire agenda. And you are telling me that you sat there, you don't know what kind of supervision or coordination you were doing, and excavators who do not have wings, which if you got 1,000 people to carry, they can't carry, got missing. And you are now running to the police. Please, I support your opponent's call straightforward that the level of betrayal of the president's trust demands or requires that people are fired. That should not be negotiable. That it should be first thing that should be done whilst we are looking, even investigating some of these things. Okay. If the person who is leading the whole fight is still at post and so you are investigating, is it not possible that the person could even obstruct investigation if he thinks that some of the things will affect him? As Sanda has said, the allegation that his own son is in the business, the allegation that even some of the seized excavators has been given to his son to work. These are things that are very serious allegations. And see, these allegations have been made by small-scale miners whose equipment have been seized. And some of them said they have trackers in their equipment. So they were able to trace their equipment to sites which are illegal mining sites, and these excavators are working. So if people who have led this particular thing up to now are still at post, I think Mr. President should just tell them to sit somewhere whilst he fixes the problem. Because what we are talking about, it's a serious thing that we are talking about here. We are talking about the source of life, water. We are trying to protect our water bodies. And we are sitting here 2 years after a whole initiative to protect the water bodies. The state of water bodies are worse off than the time the fight started. It should tell you that the fight itself did not happen. People only want to take advantage of the fight to enrich themselves. And as they themselves have been saying. And the first and foremost serious leak was the ANAS work, which threw some light on certain things he thinks are going on in the committee and the task force and the fight that are wrong. But what did we do? How did we take that? Even if people were not prosecuted, but we had really taken advantage of that video and say, let's do a total review of the operations and see what has been done so far. Where are we? Are we really achieving our aim? I believe that we wouldn't have been here.
The CIA declared him.
Would have taken advantage
the special prosecutor is investigating
of that opportunity to have resolved some of these things. It will not have deteriorated to this level.
But did we streamline the whole process of I take an excavator from you, I hand it over to the police, I account for every single thing I've seized? Was that whole process streamlined?
That is why we need to look into it, how they were working.
That's what the law says.
Because
the law says if they are seized, they should be taken to a police station.
You understand?
And they were kept elsewhere instead of a police station.
Sanda, I'll come to you.
Even the Elvis, auction they were doing.
Your thoughts on this whole process of if you take something, hand it over to the police. Why didn't we just follow that process?
We have to ask those who are there. Who did the work? Because I don't know. You are working with terms of reference. If you are going to do a job, the president gave you a job with a clear terms of reference. And you are supposed to seize and give to police to take custody until the legal issues are dealt with. And then people are going ahead to auction the equipment. Where in their mandate were they authorized to auction anything that they seized as part of the operations?
Okay.
They should tell us where in their mandate they were given power to auction or sell anything that they find along the way. They were not given the mandate like that. The president says, go and stop the people who are threatening the future of this country by destroying the environment. Go and stop them. Take whatever they are doing, make sure their work doesn't go on. That is the instruction they were given. So they were supposed to go and come and account. We found 500 excavators, we found this, we found this, we took everything. We made sure that the areas that they are working no longer works. Today, talk to everybody who is a small scale, they will tell you that Galamsey is even worse off now than before. And that this said task force now okays illegal mining once you are able to pay. That is the allegation that is going on. Then ask yourself that the drones that we spent money to buy, that they were going to monitor this site to ensure that wherever these things are happening, we can easily identify and deal with them. What has been the result? What work have the drones done? Can we be told how they were able to do some of these things? So you see, look, Dziffa, if you are talking to people who are in these mining communities, we get calls all the time, and people telling what is happening. It is obvious that this whole committee thing that has happened really has not helped because people took advantage of the trust the president gave them that go and do this thing to help Mother Ghana to rather enrich and make themselves very big demigods that make money. Okay. And they have made money out of a crisis, and the crisis are rather worsened, and we are all going to be the ones paying the price. Today, various studies and hospitals in mining communities are complaining that more people are reporting with kidney diseases because of what? The cyanide that is entering the water bodies that they are drinking. We are committing murder, killing people, destroying people's kidney by putting all this chemical into their source of drinking water. And the president said this cannot continue, let's stop it. And people have gone there to take advantage to enrich themselves at the expense of people's lives. That is why I agree with Laya upon that. The level of mistrust, the way that people have actually betrayed the president's trust, he should just get rid of them. Because it's not fair for the president to trust in you, give you a job, give you the resources you need. We are not even talking about how much the state has spent on that Galamsey task force. Yeah. They are fuel, they are out of station allowance, everything that we've spent on them, all this while we are not even talking about the budget as to how much we even spent on that committee. Only for us to be told that the committee actually went out there and rather did the opposite of what the president has asked them to do, and the situation is worse. And as I've said, any Ghanaian who want to do assessment, all the rumors are coming, but just look at the state of the water bodies today. And compared to the time that we started the fight, you know that the water bodies are worse off. And that is an evidence that there was no Galamsey fight. People just went to take advantage to enrich themselves.
Thank you very much, Elvis. Now, Sanda, the former Minerals Commission CEO has declared the Galamsey fight a failure. Do you agree with him, or do you think that maybe something went wrong with the excavators, but the fight itself, we're still on course?
I think I agree with him. And it's simple. I went to Takrady just at the end of the year, and flying into the city, I looked down at the river that you fly over, and it looks like groundnut soup. At the beginning in 2017, I did the same route, and we saw what the river looked like. And we thought that, okay, this is a horrible thing, let's work on it. And we did. And the water started clearing. I remember at the beginning, Kojo Ajima went to the several of the rivers and brought water when we started the campaign. Yeah. 3 months on, he went back and brought gallons of water, and you see massive improvement. So we're seeing improvement. But now we've gone back to the same problem. So we have failed.
What would it take to get us back on track, especially since the president put his presidency on the line to end this Galamsey issue?
He should remember that elections are coming in 8 months or less. And he should also know that if the man he's given the job has failed, he should give it to another person. And clearly there's a failure. And if there's a failure, what has to be done is that you give it to another person. And before we proceed, Dziffa, I'm just going to tell you something about talking about seized excavators and they disappearing. Last week, I spoke to the new person who is doing the job of Ekousi. So after Ekousi has been arrested, a new person has been given the job, Nana Yao Bwedu. And he gave me a list of what they have seized since they started this operation. I'm going to just read with you, share with you. They have control board, 504. Monitor, 512. Starter, 512. Gear lever, 76. And these are things that they seized though. Fuse switch, 179. Alternator, 179. Key, I'm not sure whether it's key to the excavators, 23. Fuel pump, they have 11. Filter, they have 17. Battery, 64. Excavator immobilized. Now, excavator immobilized means they went to the site, they found the excavator, but they cannot move it because the people have removed a key component that would allow them to move.
Like the things you are mentioning, the alternator, the dashboard, they've removed them so that they can't move.
So when they remove that one, you can, and those ones, they have up to 500. Wow. And I'm asking, where are these excavators? And what, the one immobilized ones, what did they do to it? And there are several other things. There's gold, there are pickup trucks.
But who's actually accounting for all of this so we understand the value of the resources that are being seized?
Is the Interministerial Committee on Mining. They are supposed
Are you satisfied with the results they've given us?
No, I'm not. Nobody is satisfied. Look, the small-scale miners are saying to us that their gold has also been seized. Several ounces of gold has disappeared. Pickup trucks have been taken from these sites.
Have they been able to at least account, if we have 500 excavators missing, all these other resources, can we account for them?
They are all gone. According to the small-scale miners, the gold is missing. The pickup trucks are gone. They have been sold. And if they can trace them, they actually say they can trace them back to the mining sites. So pretty much whatever we feared has happened. And the people who are supposed to do the accounting, I mean, Chanfan machines have been seized. Several of them have been seized. Water pump destroyed.
What does all this mean for our fight against corruption?
It means that the corruption fight, we are joking. That's all. It just simply means that we are joking with the fight against. We are just shouting on the rooftops that, yeah, we are fighting corruption, but we are doing absolutely nothing. We're just wasting our time, and nothing has come out of this Galamsey fight. Okay. And it's been a wasted effort. And for me, my biggest pain is the Citi FM staff and volunteers who risked their lives and went to stand in the middle of roads in Accra to distribute flyers, to create awareness. Any mad driver could have overrun any of my colleagues, and that would have been a painful and stupid death. Major Mahama has died as a result. It's become a useless death. Our campaign, the struggle, all the efforts, and this was our private resources we used to do this. Across the country, in several other regional capitals, we printed leaflets and distributed. We printed T-shirts. All of this has gone to waste. So while we were busily campaigning and shouting and promoting a hashtag, Stop Galamsey Now, we could have been promoting something else. Yeah. We have so many programs that we could promote. We didn't. We decided that we were going to do this. So while we were on the campaign trail, ensuring that this thing is done, someone is pocketing the proceeds of our hard work. When we were hoping it would be the whole Ghanaian citizen that benefits. Unfortunately, a few people in power are wiser than us, and they have shown that. And
greedy. But we have some messages here from our viewers. Citizen Francis says, when is ex-President Mahama going to address the nation about the Airbus bribery scandal? His silence on the issue is, okay, surprising. Indeed, things are falling apart in the NDC and its presidential candidate. The alternative is not only empty, but scandalous. Doma says, the way the current government will handle the Airbus and the missing excavator scandal will prove how clean the current government is. We just don't want corruption to be tackled by words or forums. Let's see the action. We change Ghana now or never. We look at our final story here. I'm reading from page 17 of the Ghanaian Times, and it says here that police grab man over gruesome murder, allegedly involved in gang raping, killing nurse in Kumasi. A 30-year-old nurse at Sewa Health Center and mother of 3 has been allegedly raped and murdered by an unknown assailant in Bosomtwe district of the Ashanti region. So this woman has passed away. She was a mother of 3. She was a nurse. Her husband came out to say that they were looking for her, and her body was found not too far from her house. Allegations are that she was gang raped and murdered, and now we have a suspect. Elvis, your thoughts on this issue? And of course, there's a social media campaign on fighting the murderer of this nurse.
I think when I read the story, it was a very sad event that people can be that wicked to just kill a fellow human being. For I don't know what crime the nurse has even committed for people to want to kill her. And unfortunately, I feel so sad for the nurse, the family, the husband. It's so unfortunate that somebody who is there to serve the people, probably she might not even be an indigene of the place, but has left maybe the comfort of her home and wherever she stays, and was posted there to go work there to help save their lives. And a certain group of people in the community will just take it upon themselves to end the person's life in such a gruesome manner. I think it's a very difficult thing that has happened, and it's an issue that we all have to be security conscious, especially people in the community, to look out for each other, so that if things like this happen, because the thing happened not far from her house. I asked, is the house that so isolated, or were people not in the house? When I read the story, I felt sad. I can just condole the family, and I urge the police to do everything possible. Thank God they said they have apprehended one person. Mm-hmm. They should do everything possible to arrest people like this, to give the society some kind of sense of security. Because if this happens in your community, you will now become very insecure. You'll be feeling that, hey, it can happen to me. Yeah. So I urge the police to do a thorough job to be able to get to the bottom of this issue, so that at least justice can be delivered to this lady and her family.
Thank you very much, Elvis. Sanda.
I mean, it doesn't matter that she's a nurse. What matters is that she's a human being and some other person has taken her life without the appropriate authority that they should do. And for me, that's how it should be handled. It doesn't matter what profession she is. She could have been a teacher. She could have been a truck pusher. She could have been a kayaker. It doesn't matter. But she shouldn't be killed the way she has been killed. And if the police people say they are investigating, that is good news. We expect them to get to the bottom of this. I'm happy with the campaign by the Nurses Association on social media fighting for it. And the story is so gruesome. If indeed there are claims that she was raped before, she was gang raped before she was killed, that's pathetic. Someone chose to go and do service in a rural community to help your neighbors and your community members. And this is the best way to reward them. It's such a painful way to reward a person. It's sad, and I'm happy to hear the police working, and I hope that we can get to the bottom of this as well.
Thank you very much. Umaru Sanda Amadu is host of Eyewitness News. What time can we catch you on 97.3 Citi FM?
17:30 GMT.
Thank you very much. And of course, Elvis Darko is the editor of The Finder. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And thank you at home for staying with us for Breakfast Daily. Up next, we'll be looking at 14 healthiest desserts to enjoy this Valentine's season. I hope both of you will be giving your loved ones some of the good desserts for Valentine's this Friday, actually.
No, the food first, then the dessert will come later.
We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends. This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.